Homes can be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, vehicles can occur within that rotation, and tree damage is also likely. The tornadic thunderstorm will remain over mainly rural areas, over south central Wayne County and west central Pike counties, but of course we do go on the air anytime a tornado warning is issued. So it does remain in effect until 6:45, so about 14 minutes for this tornado warning. We did have one earlier, just before 6 o'clock for the northwestern part of Wayne County. Again, similarly, only in effect for about 10 minutes. So this is not uncommon when we're talking about tropical storms making landfall, hurricanes making landfall. And of course, we did have Tropical Storm Henri make landfall earlier today in westerly Rhode Island. And that tornadic activity, it pretty much almost really always happens when you are talking tropical storms or hurricanes making landfall. And where it is more common, although it can be common close to the eye, where it is more common is in those outer rain bands, which is what we are dealing with this evening. So within the last couple of hours, we've seen that steadier and heavier rain really starting to filter into our area, in Wayne County, Lackawanna County, Pike, and Monroe County, seeing heavy downpours right now. But again, now also seeing some of that broad rotation. Not uncommon with that shift in that wind direction after a tropical storm or a hurricane makes landfall within those outer rain bands. So that is why that tornado warning is issued, which is why we are on the air right now at 6:32. And again, this is our second tornado warning so far this evening. We did have one in northwestern Wayne County earlier, just before 6 o'clock. That was only in effect for a couple of minutes. With this tropical tornadic activity associated with tropical storms, not usually as strong as other tornadic activity, only that rotation only on the ground, typically for a couple of seconds even. And what we're seeing is that broad rotation. But because there is the rotation, flying debris, of course, can be very dangerous to anyone caught without shelter, which is why we do go on the air for tornado warnings. So again, let me show you where it is in effect. Rural areas in the southern part of Wayne County and the west central part of Pike County. And that tornado warning remains in effect until 6:45. So let's get to some tornado safety. Again, because of the rotation, flying debris is our biggest concern. So heading for the basement is the safest place to be. If you do have one, if you don't have one, the lowest level of your home, getting as many walls between you and the outdoors as possible, so away from any windows if you can, and protecting your head. Flying debris, of course, the biggest concern within tornadoes, so protecting your head, getting under a table, helmet, pillow, over your head to protect yourself from that flying debris, and turning up your TV so that you can hear us. And really just reaching out to anybody who you may know who is in this area. Again, it is a rural area. But if you do know anybody who might be in this area, letting them know that there is that tornado warning for the very southern part of Wayne County and the west central part of Pike County, over Interstate 84 as well. But we are seeing not only that rotation, but also heavy rain, and a flash flood watch remains in effect for all of eastern Pennsylvania through tomorrow. So we do have the next several hours of that steady and heavy rain. Again, this is the outer bands of Tropical Storm Henri. Tropical Storm Henri made landfall earlier today in westerly Rhode Island. It is weakening. It's still a tropical storm with sustained winds of 40 miles an hour, so anything less than 39, it will be downgraded, but it is still that weakened tropical storm, and we are dealing with those outer bands now. So again, this tornadic activity not uncommon with the shift in the wind direction that creates that rotation. And so we're dealing with that steady and heavy rain continuing to move into our area. Again, the outer bands, you can see that counterclockwise rotation. Let me zoom out again. You can see that counterclockwise rotation and that steady and heavy rain filtering in within the last several hours in northeastern Pennsylvania. So again, we are focused on Wayne County, Pike County. That's where we're dealing with heavy, heavy rain as well, moving over Interstate 84 into the south central part, west central part, of Pike County. And that is where that tornado warning remains in effect for about 10 more minutes. So let me show you the warning again. And do we have Kurt up the control room? He's not ready. He is on his computer at home, so we'll see if we can take him so that I can get a minute to gather my thoughts. But again, the severe thunderstorm capable of producing that tornado was located over Greentown, or about 14 miles north of Mount Pocono, and it's moving south. That's the direction that the rain is moving, that stronger storm, again, with that rotation. So we do have Kurt up now. We'll get over to Max 2, if he's ready.
Hi, Allie. Yes, we've been watching this very, very closely here this afternoon, what's going on with Henri here. And if we could just possibly, I want to open up Max 2, and I want to just kind of look at a couple of things here while we're talking here. Let me just open this up real fast. And Max 2, let me jump to the radar, because that's really the thing that we're concerned about, to tell you the truth, is how slow Henri is moving. And when you get a tropical system, and I'll tell you, for years when I worked down in Texas, we dealt with tropical systems like this all the time. And whenever they move slow, Henri right now is only moving at about 7 miles an hour. So if you look at the radar, I'm going to go ahead and put this into motion, and I'll just do it manually here so you can see for yourself. The heaviest rain bands appear to be right east of Interstate 81. So that's where we're seeing these rain bands. And of course, these rain bands can also trigger tornado warnings. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now in Wayne County, as Allie was just telling you about. So we'll go ahead and zoom in a little bit on this area right here. And if I could just tell the control room that we're getting quite a bit of echo. So just heads up, giving you if there's something you can do on that end. And again, it's Sunday, and we're coming to you from my home, and we're keeping an eye on this. This system is moving pretty quickly. Now, Henri itself, the whole system, is only moving north at about 7 miles an hour. And it did take a little bit more of a westerly turn, as we had talked about. And those tornado warnings that we have up right now, let me just zoom in on that right there. So in this area here, and that's southern Wayne County going down into Pike County. So if you have any relatives that are traveling along, say, 84, 191, 447, those roads, you want to give them a heads up. We have this until 6:45. And while Allie's working in the background there at the station, Allie, if you could just pull up some of the towns or areas, townships that are in the path of this tornado warning. And I'm going to take another look here at the radar. So, Allie, are you there?
I'm here. So again, it's a very rural. We have Weather One up. It's a very rural area, and the National Weather Service included that in their tornado warning. It is a very rural area, and the actual where we're seeing that very broad rotation is expected to stay over that rural area. So as far as towns go, a little hard, but again, that Interstate 84, and Kurt, can I get on? I don't know if I'm impacting you by pulling this up. Tell me if I messed you up there. So the message from the National Weather Service, the tornadic thunderstorm will remain over mainly rural areas of south central Wayne and west central Pike counties. That messaging from the National Weather Service. But Kurt, we of course go on air whenever there's a tornado warning.
I'm just going to go ahead and
in effect.
I'm just going to go ahead and minimize that, and I want to zoom in. Can we come back to me live, Allie? I just want to show you here. I'm looking on the radar, and the area that Allie was specifically talking about, and we just got another warning issued there. Flying debris, dangerous, caught if you're outside, not in shelter. Yeah, obviously they can certainly do those things. Expiring at 6:45, so Allie and I are just kind of sharing a computer here, but I want to go to that hot spot. The reason that we're on the air right now because of that tornado warning, it would be this area right here. So the area that you see there in red, that's the area that we're talking about. That's why we're on the air with the tornado warning right in here. And this system is moving to the southeast. We'll go ahead and put it into motion again. You can kind of see for yourself. Put it on loop, and there it is, moving pretty quickly to the southeast. You see that? And the reason it's moving in that direction is because this is all due to Henri and the direction that Henri is moving. I'm just going to erase this real fast, and I'm going to back out. You'll have to forgive us because we're on remote, so remote computers don't respond as quickly as we'd like them to sometimes. And this is just one of those occasions. So let me go on the now screen and see if I can get this to come back out. And it's not wanting to listen. So let me zoom in on this one. And here we go. This is what I'm talking about right here. This system is kind of broken off into two pieces. I mean, you've got moisture and you've got lots of heavy rain bands off to the west. And as I mentioned earlier, Andre did take a little bit more of a westerly turn. So my concern with this, obviously we have the tornado warning, which is why we're live on the air. And you can see how that's moving very quickly to the south. So under the gun for this, in the area we're talking about, I'm zooming in right there, southern Wayne into Pike County. And we'll have to see if any other counties are included in this. I'm going to put on the attributes here. Just bear with me. We're doing this live on the air. And here's our local storm reports. We have flash flooding. Obviously, that's going to be the big concern. But we're not seeing any massive rotation here, at
Kurt,
least at our end, on our radar with our algorithm that we look at. So, Allie?
The National Weather Service, that message that came up that you minimized, it did say that it's weakened now, so the warning will go ahead and expire at 6:45. No need, as of right now, to continue that warning any farther south. But for 3 more minutes, that warning is still in effect, and we can bring up some tornado safety. Of course, getting to your lowest level of your home, which would be the basement, the safest place to be. So within that rotation, flying debris is the biggest concern. So getting to your basement or the lowest level of your home if you don't have a basement, and away from any windows, getting as many walls between you and the outdoors as possible, and protecting your head, of course, from that flying debris, that biggest concern. So getting under a table, putting a helmet on, really just protecting your head with a pillow, anything sturdy enough that would protect you from that flying debris. And of course, just making sure you're turning your TV up so you can hear us. We will be on the air anytime a tornado warning is issued. So if there is any more issued this evening, even though this one is about to expire, and as of right now, the National Weather Service says there's no need to extend it, we will come back on the air if we ever need to.
Just want to add a couple of things if we can here real quickly. Allie, we're looking at this. If we can go back to Max 2, thank you. This is all from the rain bands of Henri. And again, you can see a little bit of a westerly motion with this. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't have more issued tonight from the National Weather Service. I hope we don't. Believe me, I do. But I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see some more. My biggest concerns with this, not only potential for some spawning tornadoes, but flooding, because how slowly it's moving, and that's a big concern of ours, and we're going to continue to keep an eye on it. I know Allie's there all night, and I'll be keeping an eye on it as well. But the area, once again, the reason we're breaking in right here, if you look just north of Mount Pocono, south of Blooming Grove, that's a storm system that's moving to the south very quickly, and it's all part of the system that we're dealing with, Henri. So that is the area. Please be safe. If you have friends or family living east of Interstate 81, it's going to be a rocky night. That's it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. We're going to have these rain bands that rain heavy at times overnight tonight, and we could be looking at some spots as much as 4 inches of rain, and that could certainly lead to flooding. So I'm going to post more on this on Facebook. Allie's going to have more on this as well coming up on Newswatch 16. So Allie, there's only less than a minute left. I'll send it back to you.
And thanks, Kurt. And this is not uncommon, of course, like we've been talking about for the last half hour to hour. It's not uncommon to see these tornado warnings, to see that rotation when we are talking tropical storms like Tropical Storm Henri making landfall, and especially within those outer bands, those outer rain bands, which is what we're dealing with through the next several hours. Like Kurt mentioned, not only tornadic activity, but the potential for flooding. A flash flood watch remains in effect for eastern Pennsylvania through tomorrow. So a busy next couple of hours. Again, we will be on the air whenever there is a tornado warning issued, but for now that warning is about to expire, so we will bring you back to your regularly scheduled programming.